Hello, everybody. Awesome, Stella. Oh, yeah, let me mod you real quick. Sorry. I am. If my dog is going to be bothering me today. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to add you as a mod. How do I. There we go. All right, awesome, Stella. Go out into the world. My dog is irascible as hell because I am. What is my apartment at right now? My apartment is 82 fucking degrees. I don't know how or what. So if I seem shiny today, if I seem more red and flushed than usual, that's why. I am filled with rage. So for some reason yesterday I took the night off. Yesterday was kind of my birthday celebration for myself. And by the way, super thank you to everybody who donated a little bit so I could go to the Final Fantasy pre-release for Magic the Gathering. I had a wonderful time. I had such a good time. And I actually have 3 boosters that we can open on stream. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Lady. Now my dog is so fucking hot. So yesterday, I was at the Final Fantasy pre-release all day. So for like 10 hours, which isn't like weird for me to leave my animals alone that long. But when I got home, I usually keep my apartment between when it's in the summertime, between 68 and 72. Like that's kind of where it's comfortable. And it was 76. And I was like, well, that's weird. So, let me actually turn that on. There we go. $76. My birthday, Banana Brains. Turn that. I like that one. Okay. 76. And so I get home. And if the lights, by the way, I might end up turning these off just because it's so fucking hot in here. And so this morning I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's something on the fritz. Maybe overnight it will cool off, and then tomorrow I'll just whatever. This is not the case. What has instead happened, lady? What are you doing? I know, honey, but it's hotter outside. It's hotter outside. I know. So I called my realty company, and yet another the pile of reasons I need to get out of this fucking place. Called my realty company. They sent a maintenance dude. The maintenance dude basically, oh my god, thank you so much. Xendu, holy shit. Thank you for $82. Dollar per degree. I die. It's 44 here. I'm assuming that's 44 my temperature. I actually feel myself sweating under the lights. No, and especially because the lights project heat directly onto me. So they are additionally I usually you'll hear sometimes in the VODs, you'll be able to hear the thing cracking on or off. Thank you so much, Xendu. So the dude came by, and granted, I myself am not qualified to give a diagnostic of an AC unit, but if it's very obviously not working, I expect better or more than just, yeah, let's turn it off and back on and then see if it just let it run all day and see if it works. Because guess what? It's been running all day and it's just blowing like room temperature air. Like, I have one vent in my living room that is blowing room temperature fucking air into the rest of the house. And so I have been, like, when night or 9 or 10 comes around, because what I'm going to end up doing is the thing I had to do when I was young in, when my mother did not have AC, when we had to keep heat in, or keep coolness, cold air in the house during the summer, we would just, open the windows at night, close them in the morning. Yeah. So that's what I'm dealing with. Oh, holy shit. Banana Brains. By the way, Jack raised over $4,000 for Palestine Children Relief Fund last night. That's fucking awesome. Congrats to Jack. Turn it off. It might be frozen. So that's what they said. They looked inside of it and they... awesome, Stella. If you're able to easily turn off subs only mode, go for it. Yeah, go ahead and take it out. It might be frozen. So that's what they said, or no, they were like, oh, it doesn't look like anything's frosting up. The copper pipes that go into the furnace warm or hot? Could be a lack of coolant if it's an older unit. It's not that. All of these words mean nothing to me. Evaporating coil means nothing to me. But it's also not an old unit. Did Trump invoke the Resurrection Act? Insurrection Act, God. Oh, Cheska. Thank you. I like the way my hair is coming in too. Filter is dirty and I can't breathe, but you would have to keep it off for hours. All right, trying to give advice. If your filter is dirty and can't breathe, so that was the first thing you checked, right? The first thing you checked was the filter. And the filter, and I was like, okay, well, I don't think it's the filter because we just replaced it. The apartment building comes around, they give me my own filter because they know I will replace it. I don't like people in my apartment. Have I opened any of the Final Fantasy set? I've opened a decent amount. I went to, so I have been, because I knew I would be poor, and I knew I would be trying to pay off as much debt and trying to get the fuck out of this apartment for reasons like this. I went like a month ago and traded into one of my 2 local shops a bunch of my, like, not like high, I mean, they were my highest value cards because I don't buy cards really. I buy packs or I get packs. I sometimes trade for people, but like if I open something that's money, I just put it in a binder and I will sell it later. And I'm glad I have. Excuse me. Is the volume low? Let me turn it up a little bit. All right, how's that? That might be a little bit high. Okay. And so a couple weeks ago, because I knew about the Final Fantasy, I knew I would be in on Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. I wanted to play it. And so I traded in a decent amount of cards, and they don't usually the store that I traded into, they have like a case that they usually do like flat trades, like they give you store credit for stuff that's in the case. But because I've been going there for over a year and I'm tight with the owners, they were like, yeah, sure, we'll work it out with you. So thank you to them, by the way. Thank you to Merlins of Spokane. And so I had a couple of pre-release kits and a commander deck set aside for me. Somebody asking Kevin Ramsey, is the Final Fantasy set any good? I think it's fucking great, honestly. I was not expecting it to be, and we're starting with something light before we get into some several heavy things, right? And that is going to be the Final Fantasy pre-release. It is, I wasn't expecting it to be as good of a limited format as it is, like as a confined set. Because I know the next couple weeks, that same store, I don't have the money to do, and by the way, if anybody wants to donate, all donations are appreciated, but please try and donate first at the link, the Ko-Fi link down below on the video on YouTube, because that stuff goes directly to me, and it does not have as much of a YouTube and Twitch take a lot of like channel donations, whereas Ko-Fi basically just puts it right into my account. So, but either way, because I know I'm not going to have enough money for any other pre-releases, but I do want to play. I think I am going to try and do, and I rarely do drafts. Like I usually just do Commander. I think I am going to try and make it to a draft night if they have one. I know, honey. I know, baby. I know. Lady's all riled up because it's fucking hot in here. All right, I'm gonna see what the temp is at and if it's gone higher or lower. Yeah, there are riots in LA. We will talk about that too. We'll talk about the riots in LA before we get to Musk. Because yeah, anyway, limited format, it's really great. Tim Pool. All right, well, I'm gonna have to look that up. Vitamin Fuse, also, thank you for Prime. All right, let's just go into this, I guess. All right. This is the way. Fuck you, Charlie Kirk. Oh yeah, no, like conservative. Which, by the way, if these same people had any kind of logical consistency, um, they would be like, oh well, who cares about what happens in L.A. But they don't. They as much as they love to shit talk California and literally everybody that lives there, the only thing they want more is to literally see camera phone video taken of the people living there being crushed into pulp. Which is, you know, they are all fiendishly rubbing their hands together right now at the idea these fucking thumb wars looking motherfuckers are sitting in their little Fox News chairs, eagerly waiting to see more teenagers crushed under the tanks the taxpayers are paying for. And then they'll have notably, as people noticed today, when a video started circulating of one protester being run over by an ICE vehicle. Notably, these are also the same people who will be like, China's actually a totalitarian, authoritarian, evil dictator state and is evil and communist. And what about Tiananmen Square? And they'll show that one picture of the tank, and it's like, that's what are you talking about? Slappy Meats, thank you very much for raiding with a party of 5. Hello. ICE is the modern day SS. Yeah, the idea that Tom Homan, that these people want to fucking sit back and try and like make ICE some kind of honorific, like make it on par with, and granted, different service, different responsibilities, but make it on par with being like, oh yes, no, if you're an ICE, you're one of the troops, sir. It's like, no, you're a fucking mall rent-a-cop dropout thug. You're probably either a white nationalist, abusive husband, a drunkard. You are some form of absolute, what's the word I'm looking for? Misanthrope. I kept wanting to say misandrist or misogynist, and I'm like, nope, other one. Misanthrope. Like, you hate humanity. If you willingly go into ICE and you live up your days by harassing, assaulting, and invading the privacy and rights of other people, yeah, you're like a Nazi. The idea that people are backing up and being like, well, no, actually, Nazis, they violated people's rights, and Nazis, they rounded people up, and Nazis, they violated all this, that, and the other, but ICE, they're just doing all that same shit, you fucking idiots. Like, oh yeah, oh no, of course there are videos of ICE backing down when they are presented with enough pushback, because they are fucking pussies. Like, at the end of the day, all right, let's see if we can find some actual video. I didn't want to see that. Fuck you. Protesters are now throwing rocks at cars in California. That just looks like one dude throwing rocks, which you shouldn't do, obviously. Those are not... Are those cops? Well, one of them is. Those look like service vehicles. Saying protesters, Keemstar, you pedophile, balding motherfucker, shut up. Wow, no, somebody mentioned to go on Tim Pool's feed, because that was where all the, where he said something about Trump being the nexus of intelligence, but damn, no, Tim Pool is the nexus of, retweeting dumb bullshit right now. Everybody, look, I know I have a speech coming up almost a week from today, actually. I have a speech coming up that will be at Spokane Pride. I'm going to open these packies. At Spokane Pride. And I've been looking forward to it. I've written a kick-ass speech to rival the one I did last year. But, unfortunately, Tim Pool decrees that Pride Month is abolished. I'm gonna have to let the event organizers know. This is gonna be a really bummer. All right, let's go into this. You shouldn't throw rocks, but you definitely shouldn't miss. Well, you shouldn't throw rocks if you've ever seen any videos of, like, not even videos, but like, there have been multiple cases that I can think of where teenagers thought it would be fucking funny to either throw rocks or drop rocks. A lot of the time it's usually dropping rocks from like a freeway overpass or like a freeway bridge or something, and the person will be either killed or left brain dead or put in a coma or something, because hey, rocks are fucking heavy, and when you throw them into a speeding object that is, like, windshields are built for safety, they're not built for that kind of unpredictable safety. I mean, they kind of are, but like, there's only so many ways they can test that shit, right? All right, let's see what we got. Pack one, and then we'll keep talking about Tim. We got Ice Magic from... The one thing I will say I really like, the Final Fantasy cards, they all have the game that they're from at the bottom. So we've got Ice Magic, and it looks like the hot goth lady, who I forget the name of, is casting it. You got a cute little Dwarven Castle Guard from 4. Thunder Magic from 13. Resentful Revelation from 7. Blitzball Shots. Sandworm from Final Fantasy V. Tifa. I have Tifa only because I opened... I think there's 2 Tifas. But Tifa is the alternate for the Final Fantasy VII Commander deck. So I do have the a Tifa. And I pimped out my Final Fantasy VII deck. Quistis Trape. Quistis Treep? Final Fantasy 8. I don't know. I didn't finish 8. Ash, Princess of Dalmasca, 12. Garland, Knight of Cornelia from Final Fantasy 1. That's cool shit, honestly. Having these like Final Fantasy 1 characters represented in such a like detailed and realistic way after decades and decades. Venat, Heart of Hydaelyn from 14. There have been a lot. I opened a lot of 14 cards, and it's so funny because I played 14 for like maybe 3 hours, and I've unfortunately been getting back into Final Fantasy lately. Sabatender as a Final Fantasy 11 cactus. Ooh, that's actually kind of nasty in the current meta, I'm not going to lie. When a land you control enters, so it has landfall pings for 1 to each opponent. And it's just a 2/1 for 2, which isn't terrible. Okay, so that is pack 1. Yeah, there is. Oh, I opened so Cecil is a kick-ass card, by the way. Cecil whips. Yeah, there is a Final Fantasy IV Cecil, and it is... The front is... It's 1 black, he's a 2/3 death touch, and then when you flip him, he's a fucking crazy lifelink, gives everything attacking indestructible. And so he's a black-white card. But, yeah, fucking... They got most of, like, the main sets. Alright, let's go... Pack 2. Oh, okay. I saw something cool. Mystidian Elder. I can make a little 0/1 black wizard from Final Fantasy IV. Shinra reinforcements. Hell yeah. Summon Fat Chocobo, y'all. It's a saga enchantment creature. Or it's an enchantment creature saga bird, but I don't know if you can see that. Fat chokes. Big chocos, all up in it. Love big chocobos. Weapons vendor. Laughing Mad with Kefka. Oh, sick. Okay. So this is one of the Yoshitaka Amano, the like art cards that they did, the special guest cards. Gilgamesh Weapon Collector from Final Fantasy V. The Yoshitaka Amano, I only have like 2 or 3 of those. They're so fucking gorgeous. Garnet Princess of Alexandria. And the hits. Oh, I got 2 rares. Okay, I got Summon Cerberus, which is a Saga dog. Ooh, I can put that in my dog deck. Let's go. That is Final Fantasy VIII. And then Jill, Shiva's Dominant. And this is a foil rare from 16. Oh yeah, I've actually been playing 16, which is a game I have thoughts on. By the way, if anybody cares about video games and my opinions on them. Human Noble Warrior. Shiva, Warden of Ice. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Tap all lands your opponents control. Exile Shiva, then return it to the battlefield. Okay. Tap all lands is kind of nasty. Why isn't... Oh, Lady is acting up. She's right here, but she's just like... She's panting heavily. I'm gonna... I don't know what to do about the fucking heat, y'all. Well, Bootscape, so I just beat the first boss in 16 where you get that second kind of power set. And I think it's getting more interesting. Like, I see 16 is kind of a bummer, though, because it feels like, thus far, it feels even less of an RPG than 15 did. Like, 15 was very much a action open world game, and 16 just seems like that. Oh, Audrey Doyle, there are so many more than 16. I know, baby. I know, you're so uncomfortable. You're so uncomfy. You're so uncomfy. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to try something. No, you do not chew on it. Was that nice? Do you like that? Do you like it, Dad? Okay, I will hold that if you want to come over here. Okay. Hello. He'll take Lady out. Oh, we went over come on. There is a triple triad card. You know, there's pretty much, if there's a like Final Fantasy character you love, odds are, if it was in the main game. So here's the annoying part, is they did all the main games and none of the like sequels. So they did not do Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy X-2 or 13-2 or Lightning Returns, which is very fucking frustrating, honestly. So no pain. I cannot put together the Sky Pirates from 10-2. Like, what are we fucking doing? All right, last one. Cold dog. All right, here we go. Oh, fuck yeah. I somehow didn't have one yet. Now I got a Moogle token. Let's go. Mooging it up. Come on, baby. I know, honey. I love Fatal Frame. I've only beaten 5 because I actually had to sell them when I was poor. There was a time where I collected them before PS2 games like really blew up, and I unfortunately had to sell my Fatal Frame PS2 trilogy when I needed money. X Death from Final Fantasy V. X Death Void Warlock. That is gorgeous art. 3/3. When it enters, you gain 3 life. Yeah, that's not a bad little like Popper Mill Commander. And I got this is my 3rd Firion Wild Rose Warrior. I believe is the Final Fantasy II. Is that the protagonist? I think. Okay, I got a lot of fucking Dwarven Castle Guards. That is gonna be a draft chaff card, if ever one I've seen. Juno, dear, you're a little drunk tonight. Why not? We're not a lot of drunk. No, you're good. Awesome, Stella. I usually get all my own links. I usually don't have the mods do it for me. Honestly. Yeah, Worship of the Olympians. All right, we're done with Final Fantasy now. Worship of the Olympians, thank you for $10. How are you doing during the messiest fascist gay divorce since Hitler and Rome broke up? You know, okay, so we're gonna let's go over more of the LA riots. Personally or currently, and then we can go over the Trump Elon thing, because there's more to just talk about than simply reveling in the fact that they're falling out, because all of this was pretty predictable. I think one thing that, come on baby, there you go. One thing that, yeah, Kiwi TP, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. I think somebody was like, hey, didn't you predict this at the beginning of the year? And I didn't go back to look at what, I don't remember what stream it would have even been on as far as me doing that. But I have a vague memory of me saying that it would probably be about 6 months. Or I would be surprised if it took more than 6 months. I don't remember where that would be, though. If anybody can find it, I would love that. Yeah, no, here we go. Here's that Tim Pool tweet. Trump has never made a mistake because he is the nexus of intelligence. Whether it is correct is solely based upon whether Trump affirms it to be. If he says it, then it is. That is... Look, I don't know what it is about Trump that inspires the men around him in such a way. But they debase themselves for him in ways that put the most ravenous, feral porn stars to shame. Like, he is writing it in ways people have never thought to write it before with this. Tim, what are you doing? Your beanie's gonna fall off. You're writing it too hard. See, you get it, because it's racism. ICE just started raids on several Home Depots in LA. We will find them at the Home Depots. We will find them at the Lowe's. We will find them at the swap meets. You get it? Because the people that they're trying to take out of the country and using to galvanize their nationalism and fascism in support of getting out of the country, they're the ones that we pay less to do all of our work. You get it? That's why it's funny. It's because they'll be at Lowe's to do undocumented labor because people will pay less because they're hard workers, and they know that. And Americans will take advantage of that and then try and deport them. We love that. I fucking hate. Oh, we will not stand for this. We will not stand for this, and it's just a Unite or Die poster. We will not stand for this, and it's just like something about King George being a dragon and getting beheaded. All right, so if you can't tell by Tim Pool's timeline, Nick Sorter. Why do I know that name? Tucker Carlson, that's why. Anti-ICE rioters are now throwing rocks. There is visible damage. Deploy the National Guard. What does it say about the U.S. apparatus that people are so pressed about, like, throwing rocks at reinforced federal vehicles? Like, y'all, they're... It's just... Every time something like this happens, it becomes abundantly clear just how soft they are. Oh. Come here, baby. Sorry, I just got a message from somebody. I was like, okay. Okay, I'm being told we are getting confirmation right now from our studio. If this information is correct, it appears that ICE is retreating. We are cutting live to that footage right now. Yeah, also fucking Gavin Newsom acquiescing to Trump and being like, oh, yes, sir, we're working with you. Like, fuck off. Way to kill any chances of you having any support from the left. Which he already threw that baby out with the fucking bathwater at the beginning of the year with this Tucker Carlson bullshit. Come here, baby. All right, so this is live footage. Or I guess it was live? Is it no longer live? Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, now we're up to date. All right, I am not seeing any audio coming through. Fox 10 Phoenix. This stream has no audio due to factors beyond our control. Okay. No, honestly, Awesome Stella, it is fine not having audio. If we can just keep this on in the background and talk about it. Rand Paul's neighbor, thank you for $10. Tim Pool is still mad at Sam and Emma at the Majority Report because he thinks they messed with the audio to make his music sound bad. Brother, they don't need to... I would love to just tell Pool, hey, they don't need to try to make it sound bad. Oh, holy shit. When is the... Oh my god, I guess I didn't realize that was so soon. June 14th. Oh, motherfucker. Sorry, I'm texting someone, y'all. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, I know where that is, I think. Do we have their cops behind that wall? This cameraman. So I was thinking, I asked somebody earlier what they would think about me going down to Project Violet Bird. Thank you for following. Spiral Out Bro. Thank you for following. Do we just get a small raid? No. I was thinking about going down to LA. And I don't know how I feel about it still. Because having seen a few of these happenstances come and go now, we are at the beginning. People are tired. People are pissed. They have fascist brown shirts running amok in their communities. I love the Mexican flags, by the way. I'm going to go... So let's go really quick. Newsom says Trump admin will send 2,000 guard troops to LA over ICE protests. Doesn't really sound like he's really... God damn, look at all the fucking rounds. Ugh. Trump admin... Officials said Saturday federal government planned to dispatch troops to Los Angeles, where widespread protests have broken out in response to ICE. Tom Homan said on Fox they would send... Top aide Stephen fucking Miller said called the protests an insurrection Saturday morning, a charge that could allow Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act and send in troops. It's so fucking funny that that's literally where we are. Okay, there we go. Where somebody can just call somebody something and they'll be like, oh yeah, no, we can invoke this act from the fucking 1800s to be like, yeah, no, it's an insurrection. Fucking calling somebody, running somebody else over to get a deal on a Black Friday TV, an insurrection. Like, no, it is the precedent. Somebody saying, KWTP, great precedent to set. It is like, when you see people like, by the way, this is the true harm in these talking heads like Charlie Kirk, like Tim Pool, like we were just saying, is not the fact that they support stupid people. It is the fact that the stupid people they're supporting want to continually set new precedents, and they continue to spread those ideas and plant the seeds that those ideas, when they come to pass, are actually a good thing. For example, being able to simply say anything is an insurrection, therefore we are justified in applying military force towards a civilian populace. These are the same people who constantly worry, or they constantly troll about slippery slopes, right? All right, let's see if we can get some audio. All right, give me 1 second, chat. Yeah, no, this is the party of small government. It's so fucking funny how, again, these are the people who want to say states' rights over shit, and then they will, and again, this shows what fucking steel Gavin Newsom's actually made of. They will send National Guard troops in to crush civilian uprisings. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to close down some tasks to free up space on my computer. There we go. Hey, TJ Molly. So is our country just fucked? No, well, yes and no. This is not as awful as this looks, and I'm sure it looks even more terrible if you're not from the U.S. This shit happens every couple of years. The problem is the escalation of it in the force used against civilians, which is the really, like, terrifying part, I feel. I haven't even, yeah, let's look at the comments really quick. Look, the people out here protesting, unlawful assembly, like, I want you, every time it pans over, by the way, I want you to look at the actual faces of the people being represented. Because it is not just, as Fox News, Stephen Miller, all of these fucks would like you to believe that these are, you know, violent protesters, that these are, what you're going to hear in the next couple days is you're going to hear the same old faithful, the classics. You're going to hear thugs. You're going to hear probably gangsters. I wouldn't be surprised. You're going to hear Antifa. You're going to hear anti-American. You're going to hear communists and Marxists probably for no goddamn reason. But when they say those things, I want you to keep in mind, every time it pans past these crowds, don't keep that guy in mind. Congrats, dude. You just made the biggest asshole of yourself on national television. Look, if there's a way for idiots to get on camera, they're going to fucking find it. But the majority of these protesters are just regular civilians. Of all colors, of all ages, of all backgrounds. When they pan back across the crowd, look at how many of them look like college kids, teenagers, adults, people with day jobs who are out here protesting against these brown shirt motherfuckers.
Well, you've been here for like 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. I thought you've been here for like a minute.
Somebody's saying, or Project Violet Bird, usually when these things happen, it's police responding violently. This is people resisting against ICE attacking their communities. I mean, it is still a form of policing. It is still a form of government control that are enacting a form of violence. It's really no different. Yeah, treaded water. That is a fucking fantastic way to put him. I talk about how I don't like using the word because it is kind of chuddy, but I talk about how cucked a lot of America is when it comes to the ideas of being independent and being a quote unquote free country, and what that actually means. Are you really free? And when you see shit like this, and you see the way conservatives, Trump supporters, MAGA, whatever you want to call them, you see the way that they cheer on the subjugation of their fellow man. They cheer on harm being done to people they don't even know. All for standing up against tyranny. It becomes so clear that all the talk that we've ever heard about the Second Amendment, about, oh, we need this to fight back against tyranny, to fight back against the government, is just fucking bullshit. Give me 1 second. I think it might be getting a little cooler in here. Starro Junes, too many people think the tyranny isn't actual tyranny, though. Like, it's just people doing the right thing. I don't believe that. Like, there might be people who think, okay. I don't believe that as many people who claim to think that actually believe that. People like Tom Homan, people like Stephen Miller, they do not have a true concept of morality in the way we understand it. They don't have a concept of right and wrong the way you and I do. They might think that they're doing something for the greatest good, but they understand why they are so often depicted and regarded as evil, as corrupted human filth. And they gleefully, gladly take upon those mantles. They do not do anything to try and disprove them. I think there are people out there who know they are evil and revel in that. Misanthropic, did you know Andy Serkis is doing? Yeah, I saw the clip that went around about Andy Serkis' Animal Farm. Yeah, and I saw somebody being like, oh, I bet they make it woke and they try and make it like they don't keep it being anti-communist. Kaminki, do you think that this level of militarized enforcement will force Dems to stop being so right-wing in immigration? No. No. Well, we'll talk. I laugh. It's not funny. We'll talk about it a little bit when we talk about the Elon thing, because the way that people have been already laying the groundwork, at least in the like Politico class, for Elon being reformed in one way or another, is so vile. Yeah, let's see what's down in the America First. Yeah, let's go see the chat. If you speak Spanish, you need to go back to Mexico. So you can't even spell. Just arrest all of LA. Wow. Trump is finally gonna get all this bullshit straight. Ugh. No more bean farts. It's hard to even really LA Q elites chuckling behind 10-foot walls. Wow. Q elites, huh? Like, it's hard to even take so much of this, genuinely hard to take so much of this seriously. I know there are a lot of idiots and assholes out there. Let's go back to Tim Pool. Why are our chats so heavily moderated? I mean, I'm willing to bet that the ABC or the CBS chat, or whoever NBC chat we were just looking at is not used to getting that many dipshits. Mexico pendejo chupa Vargas. How is that, Christian Garcia? Elizabeth, do they still think it's a bunch of kids that need to be taught the realities of the world? So, I want to talk about how these things are already being framed. And Tim Pool posted something that I thought is going to be, this is going to be kind of like a Rosetta Stone for if the actual, in the event of, ODD, Stephen White, I'm sorry. As far as I'm Kitty Fruit, Gavin Newsom do something. Gavin Newsom is doing something. He's saying, okay. When Trump said, I'm going to send 2,000 troops to destroy your civilians, to lay waste to the Antifa agitators, Gavin Newsom said, okay. Like that's what Gavin Newsom did. If you want to, if people are asking, hey, what's Gavin Newsom doing? That's what Gavin Newsom's doing. Fuck all. Rosetta Stone for how the Insurrection Act, quote unquote, is going to be taken over. Because if y'all remember back in April, I think it was, the Insurrection Act was brought up again, very likely because people like Stephen Miller just couldn't, was just waiting, licking his chops for the moment that he would get to fucking do this. Or at least try and incite the dumbass president to do something like this. Foreign flags flying in American cities to defend the invasion and defy federal law. There is no invasion. These are American citizens. This is a bunch of white people. And there's some black people, there's some Asian people, there's some Hispanic people in there, because LA is an incredibly diverse city with an incredibly diverse populace. But these are just a bunch of fucking people. If you're going to tell me that this white dude right here is a what? Because there's a Palestine flag over here, because there's a that's not the Italian flag. It looks like, okay, that I believe that is black. I was going to be like, is that? No. But if you're going to tell me that just because there's a Palestinian flag over here that, oh, this person's Hamas, fuck off. But that is the exact logical loophole that people are going to be using. Kyle Kulinski just said, I did not spell it correctly. Sorry. It's the Pan-African flag. Do we not have a... If they are, it has not happened yet. Or it is not being reported yet. Media Breakdown, thank you for $4.99. I hate what Twitter has become. My own mother showed me some BS posts where they faked Elon and Trump's account, claiming the feud was a prank. Yeah, I honestly... might be one of my favorite bits, that like the kind of Q... so... We've talked a little bit about how Q and QAnon and those kind of conspiracies have died down, but they've really, so many of the people either behind them or engaged with them have just, they're throwing their chips into other shit. And what you see now is a lot of people just being either building and creating their own conspiracies or buying into fun new ones. As an example, anytime there's any kind of development, it is not because and this is really the operation of Q, is that Trump is a genius and he can do no wrong, because everything that he does wrong they have to justify by actually being a brilliant 4D brain chess move to outwit the deep state and put Hillary on trial for adrenochrome or whatever. And you can see that in the way people are regarding and talking about, what's his fuck? Elon. And all of the shit that is currently happening. When they're talking about it, like it is a reality. Like it is a genuine occurrence that fucking Elon Musk is like they are my favorite one that I've seen is the idea that Elon is tricking the Dems into releasing the what's the word I'm looking for? Tricking the Dems into releasing the Epstein files. Because they're going to be so stupid, and they're going to have egg on their face when Trump is in there. And it's again, it's all Q shit. It's all fucking Trump was actually been on a long ass. He's been secretly working with Q for 20 years, and this is just the end of the storm. Like fuck, it's so great. Hey, Transitory. Let's see. Yeah, I did see Elon deleted all of his tweets. All right, so I am not seeing anything there. Gavin Newsom said in his statements. So here is what Gavin Newsom is doing. If this will load. I gotta check how my coolant is doing. I have Joe Homer. I have no idea why Elon would delete that. Like, yeah, it's just like, oh, so glad. Whew, would have been terrible if somebody saw them. Elon, you fucking moron. All right, here's what Gavin Newsom is doing. The federal government is moving to take over California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. This move is purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. LA authorities are able to access law enforcement assistance at a moment's notice. We are in close coordination with the city and county. There is currently no unmet need. The Guard has been admirably serving LA throughout recovery. This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust. That's it. That's it. That's all he's fucking doing. Hey, Christian Garcia. Hey, Storm Over Cran. Yeah, mark this post. The truth will come out, and then deletes the post. Oh, mwah, so good. ICE carried out a series of arrests in LA Friday and Saturday, sparking large protests in LA and nearby Paramount and denouncements from representatives from local and state lawmakers. The DHS said Saturday that ICE arrested 118 people in LA. Did not say how many were in the U.S. illegally, probably because, as we found earlier, they probably don't fucking know. They honestly probably have no goddamn motherfucking idea. Oh, thank you, Awesome Stella. Yeah, I'm noticing that. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it so much. ICE, under Trump's orders to carry out a mass deportation, has conducted a number of high-profile raids in California, targeting businesses and even immigration courts. On Wednesday, immigration advocates said ICE agents arrested at least 15 people, including children, who were checking in with immigration officials, a routine requirement for those whose immigration cases are still pending. As ICE has ramped up its efforts, its agents have often met fierce resistance from residents and advocacy groups, with protesters in Los Angeles and San Diego confronting agents directly. You love to see it. Chat. You love to see it. We will come back to it if there are any interesting developments. Oh, goodness. All right, give me 1 second. I will be right back. Yeah, sorry. I have... Oh, shit. I need to go refill my water. I meant to do that. I'll be right back. All right. Full water. So, the big news this week aside from the uprising in LA, as to be expected, is the falling out between Trump and Elon Musk. Like I said, for those who are new or just joining the stream, please forgive if I appear flushed or shiny. My apartment is 80 degrees because global warming is hot. Thank you very much, Carry on Top. Now, the thing about Trump and Elon Musk is that this kind of fracturing was unavoidable. And if you've been paying attention like we have for several months, the people around Trump, who, by the way, have gotten along fine with Trump for years and years, people like Steve Bannon, people like Stephen Miller, people who know the correct balance of acquiescing to Trump and also manipulating him to get what they actually want, those are the kind of people that are allowed to stay in and around Trump's orbit. You know, they don't get in the way of anything. But much like Elon's dog shit space shuttle technology, it doesn't get into orbit so much as it just kind of crashes into shit and fucks up everything around him. To that end, he has now had a very public falling out with Trump, which they tried to cover it up by being like, well, no, he was always scheduled to leave at this point. And Elon has taken a lot of the criticism he's gotten. It really is the worst of both worlds for him, which, good. It's the worst of both worlds for him to have defunded so many things that people depend on. USAID, who, by the way, we've already seen. Let me look that up. I want, by the way, I want to preface everything we say with this kind of shit. Because we've known this for months now. This is a month, not even a month. Children die after USAID funding cuts end lifeline for displaced communities fleeing violence. Nigeria. Feeding is severely difficult, said Balama, 40, who was a farmer before Boko Haram militants swept through her village, forcing her to flee. She and about 400,000 other people at the humanitarian hub of Dikwa, virtually the entire population, rely on assistance. The military restricts their movements to a designated safe zone, which severely limits farming. For years, the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, had been the backbone of humanitarian response in northeastern Nigeria, helping non-government organizations provide food, shelter, and healthcare to millions of people. But this year, the Trump admin cut more than 90% of USAID's foreign aid contracts and $60 billion in overall assistance around the world. Programs serving children were hit hard. Balama previously lost young triplets to hunger before reaching therapeutic feeding centers in Dikwa. When she gave birth to twins last August, both were severely underweight. Workers from Mercy Corps enrolled them in a program to receive a calorie-dense paste used to treat severe acute malnutrition. Sorry, I'm looking at... Globally, 50% of the therapeutic foods for treating malnutrition in children were funded by USAID, and 40% of the supplies were produced in the U.S., according to Sean Baker, Chief Program Officer at Helen Keller International. He said the consequence could be 1 million children not receiving treatment for severe malnutrition, resulting in 163,500 additional deaths per year. Helen Keller International's programs in Bangladesh, Nepal, and Nigeria have been terminated. UNICEF still runs a therapeutic feeding center, which now supports Balama's surviving baby, but its capacity is stretched. It is turning away many people previously served by other aid groups that have pulled out due to funding cuts. Why don't we support the Second Amendment in those times? We do. What are you talking about, N1? Thousands of displaced families and those escaping Boko Haram captivity are stranded. There are no new shelters being built and no support for relocation. Quote, before, organizations like Mercy Corps built mud brick homes and rehabilitated damaged shelters to absorb people from the IOM reception center, said one official at the center, speaking on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to speak publicly on the situation. Quote, now it has stopped. Jensen, the UN humanitarian head in Maiduguri, said, quote, we are not seeing additional funding to make up for the U.S. cuts. He warned that vulnerable people could turn to risky ways of coping, including joining violent groups. There's been some discourse of late about whether or not 9/11 was a result of U.S. action. And a lot of leftists get to come out of the woodwork and be like, yeah, that's kind of like America's thing. It's like using people for resources, and then completely fucking them over, and then those people and kids grow up impoverished in worse lives than they would have had, hating America. It's kind of a cycle. It's kind of the shit that we do. In Mozambique, okay, here we go. The crisis in Nigeria is part of a larger reckoning. According to Kate Phillips Barrasso, Mercy Corps' vice president for policy and advocacy, 40 of its 62 U.S.-funded programs with the potential to reach 3.5 million people in Nigeria, Central Africa, Ethiopia, Somalia, Iraq, Sudan, Afghanistan, Kenya, Lebanon, and Gaza have been terminated. In Mozambique, where jihadist violence in the north has displaced over 1 million people since 2017, humanitarian organizations face steep shortfalls with devastating effects on the needy, said Frederico João, chairman of the Forum of NGOs in the region. More widely, the USAID funding cut compromises Mozambique's health sector, especially in HIV/AIDS care, said Inocencio Impisa, cabinet spokesman. The government now seeks alternative funding to prevent total collapse of health systems. Now, I had close enough. I appreciate it. Thanks. Oh yeah, let me go to because we talked about this when it happened. Fuck you, Google. From May 22nd, Doge cuts. Policy changes jeopardize care, housing for vulnerable HIV patients in Alabama. I want to, before I get into this, I want to talk about, I was part of a, not for HIV, for PrEP. Which for those who don't know, PrEP is a antiviral, anti-STD medication that, like, if you have any kind of, like, honestly, if you have any kind of sexual interaction, you should probably be on PrEP. Like, if you're fucking people and you don't know them extremely well, you should probably be on PrEP. Just because it's good to be safe. It's an antiviral. That is why I take it. And I was part of a study group for about 3 years. I think I've talked about this. I was part of a study group for 3 years where I signed up for one of those, like, it was a college study, essentially. Well, it was out of, like, wasn't Johns Hopkins, but it was one of the, like, bigger medical schools over in the middle of the country. I think it was out of Boston. And essentially because it was in different intervals where they would start off taking my info, I would do a test, send it off, and then it was 3 months after that, and then 8 months, and then 12 months. I think that's what it was, because I think it eventually, somewhere in there, it came out to 24 months, right? So this was part of essentially a 2-year study with hundreds of people involved across the country that I was involved in. to help track and chart among sexually active people who were on PrEP its effectiveness. Like a incredibly important thing when it comes to HIV detection and prevention. To see like, hey, we know, like when people talk about, hey, well, how do we know if this medication is effective? It's studies like this that are charting that from multiple colleges, from multiple study groups. That is how we get the data on these things. When I called about 4 months ago, because I was like, I got a message a month before. They were like, hey, give us a text or whatever whenever you're ready for your final kit. And when I texted them, I got an automated message literally telling me that the study, who again, I cannot imagine dozens of people probably worked on, consisting of probably hundreds of subjects for 2 years, had been shut down due to a lack of funding. They had cut the funding to the college for this medical study. And that's just one thing I kind of know about. There are probably tens of thousands of studies, of research grants, of all sorts of things that are meant to help people in ways that go, as much as people, the conservatives, they love to be like, oh, well, they're seeing if shrimp can turn gay or whatever the fuck. On Fox News, they'll be like, yeah, they're trying to trans shrimp. Or no, it was mice. Mice is the one that transgenic mice. Transgenic does not mean transgender. It has to do with genes, not gender. Can't expect to talk college level shit to people who barely graduated high school, I guess. But the point is, I want to preface all of this stuff before we go to Elon, because these are the direct repercussions of his actions. Elon was a wrecking ball, a bull in an idiot china shop. And we cannot forget that, even as we sit and revel at the crashing out and whatever ketamine is possessing him. Like Reagan in The Exorcist, to go on the most bizarre, uncomfortable public displays of indecency. Being like, and I, as somebody, look, I love a messy bitch as much as the next person. I do, unfortunately. George Santos, can't get enough. Terrible person. It's important to keep that shit in perspective. Because as we're seeing here, we are already also going to get, well, I'll finish reading this, but in a little bit, we're going to talk about Matt Iglesias and Will Stancil and the DC Politico editorialist journalist class, the centrist libs who want to talk about, well, yeah, we should have a big tent. We should absolutely welcome that. Somebody should tell Chuck Schumer that Elon likes electric cars. Or somebody should tell Elon how much Chuck Schumer and the Dems love electric, whatever the fuck Matt Iglesias said. And it is, well, we'll talk about it when we get there. We'll talk about it when we get there. Ryson, you're sexually active? Ryan, you of all people should know. So yeah, let's go over the feud between Elon Musk. Hi, Lady Domina. Oh, is this? This is a developing feud. Use interactive content. What the fuck? Don't just respond. You can't just respond to that with the little cat face. All right. June 3rd. What is what is this, CNN? What are you doing? Here's a timeline of the first 72 hours of the feud. This is just June 3rd. Is there supposed to be something else here? CNN, come on. Whatever. Stop it. Oh no, there's another Ryan in chat. Not that Ryan. Oh no. Everybody's doing cat faces in chat. Chat faces. Musk, Elon, Trump. Look at what I've done. I've cat-pilled everybody. Oh, whoa. Ooh, woo. Inside the battles that shattered Trump and Elon. So I want to go over first. Oh, well. Sorry, that's Cyrus's thing. I cannot steal Cyrus's thing. I do want to... Come on. My computer is so slow. When I get paid this month, I think I'm going to really try investing in... Speaking of Ryan, by the way, you need to help me get a parts list. Hello, dog. Hello. I know. You're okay. You're okay. All right, give me 1 second, chat. I guess it is cooling down technically by 1 degree. The sun's gonna start going down soon. God, I'm still so hot in here. What do you need? Is it a whole new setup? I need a proper computer. I don't have a... Rachel Skywalker, I like Vesper, by the way. Thank you. I do not... I have a laptop. I have a laptop and 1 screen that I use for streaming. And editing. And everything. I know, Ray, and I will. I also haven't had the money to put towards it, but I did okay last month on YouTube, so I am setting aside a chunk... And just gonna fucking... I will just eat it because I've gotten to a point where I cannot keep doing this. I need to straight up, like, just make a fucking... Start a GoFundMe for a proper streaming setup. I don't want to ruin my GoFundMe. I don't need it that bad. I mean, like, I do for work, but I don't need a GoFundMe. I'm basically banging rocks together. Like, kinda. Ryan saw my stream setup. Ryan's been to my house. Ryan has seen my stream setup and knows, like, what did you say? You were like, wait, you only use 1 screen? Like, you were shocked at how crazy it was. Come here. I want to cool you down. I want to cool you down, pup. All right, fine. So I want to go over... Wait, you only use... Yeah, I only use 1 screen, and I can't do anything. Like we've played games before on stream, and I haven't been able to do anything else, or it'll crash my system because, like, my computer is just... It's not like that. It's 5 or 6 years old now. It's getting there. It's getting there. So one of the things that happened, it went... By the way, it should also not be lost that Elon Musk is a habitual liar, and I literally don't think he can stop himself from lying publicly. Like, if I'm being entirely honest. Remember a couple days ago when... Like, as he was leaving the White House and people were like, hey, yo, why do you got a fucking black eye? And he was like, I told little X to to punch me in the face as hard as he can. And he did. And everybody was like, oh, somebody whooped your ass. Damn. Great Daily Beast photo, by the way. A schoolyard brawl from the Daily Beast. Schoolyard brawl between Musk and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent contributed to Musk's messy breakup with Trump. Musk thrust his shoulder into Bessent's ribcage, quote, like a rugby player. The Washington Post reported based on an interview with Trump ally Steve Bannon. Again, another certified messy bitch. The altercation came after an Oval Office meeting where Musk and Bessent made competing pitches to the president about who should lead the IRS. Trump opted for Bessent's choice. As the men walked away, they began to spar verbally. Can you imagine? I know, Awesome Cell, I wish it was Miller. Because Miller doesn't seem like the type, though. I think I said that a week or two ago. I was like, Miller is the easy money, right? Because it's a clean narrative. Miller, he stole his girl. Like, okay, it's easy. But this is more what's the word I'm looking for? Plausible. Yeah, Kanye had a no daddies don't fight tweet. Maybe the funny part, funniest part of this was seeing Kanye come out of his I'm not anti-Semitic anymore that he does once a fucking month to be like, no, we love both of y'all, don't fight. And nobody pays fucking attention to him because he's goddamn Kanye. And it's just screaming into the ether. God. You'd love to see it. When Trump heard about the altercation, he said, this is too much. Bessent called Musk a total fraud for failing to meet his goal of cutting $1 trillion in federal spending. I bet. If you've seen any of the interviews recently from on Elon, asking him about his tenure as head of Doge, it has been incredibly funny to watch him get more insecure in a public space, which he visibly is incredibly insecure about the lack of actual progress he's made, right? Because we talked earlier, but here's somebody who has and I talked about this months and months ago, where he has the Silicon Valley tech bro break things until it works idea, which doesn't fucking work when you are playing with people's lives instead of shareholder value. So what he ended up doing, again, wrecking ball, is defunding, we talked about at the beginning, defunding, killing, effectively, ending aid that was necessary for people to live in other parts of the world, which, by the way, everybody told them. They knew this would happen. And they just fucking shrugged off and were like, "What? We can't support everybody." Fuck you. And in effect, because he is, in fact, one of the dumbest people to ever make as much money, like gotta be one of the top ratios of idiocy to money made, he never thought to realize that Trump was not genuinely interested in slashing the budget. He was interested in cutting funding for things that would be woke or DEI, which Doge happily, quote unquote, took care of. He was interested in appealing to the nationalists in his cabinet, the people he surrounds himself with, like Miller and Bannon, who want to go on Fox News all day and just yell about how we should not be giving money to this, that, and the other. It's just, Musk got literally outfoxed by another idiot, is the crazy part of it. And when he's looking back, he's met with the cognitive dissonance of what he aimed to achieve, what he thought he was going to do, how easy. He thought, he was just going to go walk in and, we're going to fix all this stuff with Doge and we're going to clean up all this redundancy. And we got a kid named Big Balls working on our team. How could anything go wrong, Elon? And while he was so focused on cutting USAID funding, cutting Doge research across the board, he failed to take into account shit like Trump spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a military parade, on passing ever more spending bills, on continuing to pass more and more tax cuts, more and more handouts for the 1%. So I'm honestly, I'm not surprised he's crashing out a little bit. And good on him. He should. He deserves it. The White House declined to comment on the claim that Musk and Bissett exchanged blows, which is almost certainly true then. Trump and the entire administration will continue the important mission of cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from our federal government on behalf of taxpayers, and passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill is critical to helping accomplish that mission. The Daily Beast has reached out to Musk's lawyer for comment. The tensions had, so I guess this is a kind of a summation of most of the big parts. The tensions had long been brewing between Musk and Trump, but the conflict burst into the public eye on Thursday when the former allies began trading blows on social media. Musk alleged that Trump was in the Epstein files, and that was why the government had failed to release documents on notorious pedophile sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He also called for Trump's impeachment and floated starting his own competing political party. There is so fucking funny, honestly. The kind of when people are like, you know, oh, Musk is on ketamine, Musk isn't on ketamine. I can't say for sure, but I will say that any drug addict, anybody who's known former drug addicts, anybody who's been I've talked about how I used to work as a bouncer at a bar downtown. Anybody who's worked in that sphere, or just even in the periphery of nightlife, or in a downtown urban area, you've seen any kind of person who uses drugs with regularity, which you see a lot in spaces like that, to varying degrees, right? But you come to recognize a special, a je ne sais quoi, right? A certain I don't know what. When it comes to unearned confidence, just raw unearned confidence. And stuff like Musk mistaking the inner circle talking about the Epstein files for like high school Twitter beef. Musk being like, yes, maybe I will start, by the way, not a natural, like not born in America. I will start my own competing third political party, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, is exactly the kind of shit I look at when I'm like, that is, you're making the allegations harder and harder to deny, Elon. Harder and harder to deny. Trump fired back saying Musk lost his mind, suggested his behavior may be the result of his drug use. Behind closed doors, he's been more direct, telling aides that Musk is a, quote, big-time drug addict, according to the Post. Now, a couple people, two things here, because this goes back and forth. I'm not surprised that they would have shit and dirt on each other after months and months of being together. But it does bring up the interesting idea of why then, if Trump is so against drug use and so against drug users, why would he be okay hanging with Elon? And why would Elon, if he knew Trump, if he's such an upstanding, I just want to do what's right and blah, 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 why would he be so chill hanging out with a pedophile sex offender? Unless And here's really where I wish and I hope. When we talked a little bit earlier about the cognitive dissonance, about how MAGA people are trying to find ways to fit this into a narrative that, oh no, everything is cool and it's actually it's all a trap to get the Democrats to reveal the Epstein files, or it's all 5D chess so that Trump can continue fighting the deep state and Elon can go and reach the stars, or whatever the fuck dumbass bullshit narratives they want to spend to make themselves feel better. It's because the cognitive dissonance is so it's just out in the open that when you have those two little questions, you're like, okay, no, it's because neither of them have any actual moral convictions. Neither of them have any actual principles except what will benefit them. And working with each other aligned with those benefits. It was a mutually beneficial relationship for either one of them. It was symbiotic for them to overlook whatever pedophilia, whatever drug abuse, whatever shit that they publicly will talk about being against. Because at the end of the day, they do not care. They don't care. They just want more money. They just want more power. They just want more legacy. They see themselves as having this mandate of heaven and will do anything to enact what they think is the best version of living for everybody else, regardless of if it's based on any fact. A few seconds ago, thank you, Fighting Hobbit, for 20 bits, because Elon donated a metric fuckload of money, and Elon correctly deduced that Trump was easy to manipulate. The problem is that Elon doesn't have the intellectual horsepower to actually manipulate and just wandered through D.C. with a blindfold and a shotgun. Yeah. I think they, to either extent, is there an actual Pink Pony at the Pink Pony Club? I do not believe so. I've been to the Pink Pony Club. It's not the Pink Pony Club. It's the... God, what's it called? It's in WeHo. It's in the gay district. When I was in LA last year, I was going to go with Kaylin, Conrad, and Hoots. And we met up. We got there, and it was too fucking packed. What is... All right, people who live in LA or live around LA, what is the big gay bar in WeHo? Super famous. It looks like a Mexican restaurant. The Abbey. Thank you. Fuck. I kept wanting to call it the Chapel, but I'm like, no, it's not Chapel. That's Chapel Roan. Ugh. Although I guarantee, yeah, the Abbey. It's an old church. I guarantee they get plenty of play on Pink Pony Club. Musk has since quieted down and even offered signs he might be cooling off. I like how they say quieted down. They should say coming down. He deleted several of his most inflammatory posts, including the allegation about Trump and Epstein. However, a White House insider told the Post there's no undoing the damage. Quote, there's hope that there's going to be a reconciliation, the person said, but it'll never be the same. There's no... I don't think there's going to be a reconciliation. He called Trump a pedophile on a national stage. Like, Trump is willing to overlook a lot of shit. That stuff is nor. What, baby? You want food? All right, I will be right back. I'm going to check my... See if my AC is still doing okay. So hot. All right, sorry, give me a second. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Okay. So I wanted to go and then talk about let's Jesus Christ. Hey, knock it off. That seems more depressing than I want to go into right now. Did I see Nux Taku going after Elon? No. I do not care enough about thankfully I've been really blessed, let's say, to not have too many orbiters from that area infesting my timeline lately. I'm gonna just take this off. Ugh. Hello, baby. Come here. There you go. Yeah, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? I have a little ice pack I'm letting her rub up against. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Nux is a little fucking freak. Sorry, I hate that little. Every time I think, like, my Pride fan? I don't have a Pride fan. Well, I don't know. I don't think I have one. Miss, somebody says hello to you. Miss is just loafing. Miss is loafing. So yeah, like I was talking about, Matty Iglesias, Bloomberg columnist, liberal extraordinaire. June 5th, as all of this was happening, as Musk was falling out, saying, I feel like Jeffries and Schumer should give Elon Musk a call and tell him about the... All right, I'm going to do this in the tone of voice with the proper respect and consideration this kind of idea deserves. I feel like Jeffries and Schumer should give Elon Musk a call and tell him about the Democratic Party's longstanding interest in electric cars, solar panels, space exploration, and balanced deficit reduction. I don't know that it played a major causal role in anything, but holding an EV summit at the White House and not inviting Tesla was genuinely one of the most brain-dead political ideas of all time. To which friend of the show, Juniper, of Western Kabuki, who go check out my episode I did with June on Brianna Wu a couple weeks ago, asking the salient question, why would you want to associate with the Nazi? And then Lance of the Surfs, who go check out the interview I did with Lance of the Surfs a couple weeks ago. Reach out to the dude who just admitted that he knew Trump was a child rapist and decided to work with and help make him president anyway. Both salient, great points, by the way. Ellie, OSRS, my GF and I are big fans. Oh, thank you. Of me? I didn't see if there was a message that preceded that. Liberal. Get your sustenance. So this is another good, an observation of an observation, if you will. A leftist account, I don't think I even, I don't follow them. There's the follow sign. Observing that Matthew Yglesias, who spent the last couple days talking about labor unions, environmentalists, immigrants, and the abundant big tent, saying that, he has problems with all these more left-leaning progressive principles because this is the project, and it's going to be the project of the more centrist, now quote-unquote centrist, liberal left, the establishment Democrats. I wouldn't be surprised if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and all the people who held up Kamala start reaching out to and start trying to redeem Elon or start trying to get in his good graces. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. If only to get at Trump, which, make no mistake, is the only reason they would. And, I mean, they would do that. I won't be surprised if they do, because they, again, have no real political instincts outside of basic bitch drama, outside of incredibly petty mudslinging, with nothing really of substance behind it. Because at the end of the day, they don't care. They don't care about, like, allegations against Bill Clinton. They don't care how many people fucking Obama drone striked. They just don't give a shit. They will care about those things when it is politically expedient, and it is only politically expedient when it's the other party doing it. Right? And the problem that people like Matt Yglesias have with leftists is that they will call that shit out. It is why there has been a big movement. We've talked about it. Don't let the subtleties elude you. To reframe the failure of the Kamala campaign as her being too radical. We've talked about this before. It wasn't the fact that she was too radical. She wasn't radical at all. She was pulling out big-ass fundraisers to appeal to the most milquetoast liberal centrists, and then going up on stage at the DNC talking about how we were going to be the best fighting force in America. Or in America. America was going to be the best fighting force in the world. It's like, does that sound leftist to you? Overseas interventionalism? What the fuck? Does that sound like radical progressivism? Where was her talking about housing? Where was her talking about radical changes to Medicaid, Medicare? Where was her talking about, we're going to make those rich motherfuckers pay their actual fair share? See, they want to reframe all of the shit she did as if she was Bernie Sanders or something. If Bernie had a platform and actually ever got that far. And all of those things is how you should know in your gut that there are people who are going to look at everything Elon Musk has done and shrug at it. Because of his utility in striking back at Trump. At the end of the day, for people like Matt Yglesias, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I saw somebody say Sam Cedar hates hippie punching, and so do I. I don't know what that means. Abundance. Owned. Got him. We will have the most lethal military in the world. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought because I looked at chat. This is why I don't look at chat. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many people died of HIV. It doesn't matter how much medical data we've lost because Elon just went into fucking every government agency was just pressing buttons. Oh, what does this do? It doesn't matter how many hundreds of thousands of children are going to die of malnutrition overseas. It doesn't matter how many hundreds of people aren't going to get the medical care that they need. It doesn't matter how he has single-handedly advanced the massive rollback of queer and trans rights and healthcare in this country. None of that will matter to the progressives, to the left. And when I say the left here, I don't mean leftists like me or you. I mean the left in terms of the quote-unquote progressives, the liberal centrists, The status quo upholders, the people on Capitol Hill, the very reasons that we are in the problems we're in, the people who are so fucking spineless, they will not take principled stances to actually fucking fight back. The people who is the, at Trump's State of the Union address, who was the gentleman who was escorted out? Chat, I know you got me. Al Green. I believe Al Green. Yes. Yeah. Al Green removed from floor. Yep. The people who the House voted to censure when he was the only person actually taking a stand, not just wearing fucking pink dresses, not just silently holding signs or withdrawing their applause, actually causing a disruption. A, by the way, peaceful protest. And this is what we talked about this before. This is what he was rewarded with, being censured. Democrats did that too, by the way. 10 Democrats joining Republican members in passing the resolution. The left does want a big tent party. It is something I think the left needs to work on more. If there is a reason why it is so easy to rile conservatives, it isn't because of what they have in common or who they have in common that they hate more often than not. It is because of how they don't really draw as many dividing lines. That is true. We can see it with Trump and Elon, what we were just talking about. But what about the civility? Yeah. What we were just talking about. They will put aside, conservatives will put aside the shit that they know is bad if they think it can push forward their agenda, which is usually hurt somebody else. And the reason why the left is never really prepared to defend is that a lot of the times people are too busy poo-pooing because, oh, they're a Marxist. Oh, they're a socialist. Oh, they think this radical idea. And we do need to have that big party, but at the same time, you cannot have a proper big tent. You cannot have a proper movement without principles that you will stand strong by. Because if you're willing to just throw away any protestation of cutting HIV and AIDS spending, of cutting research, of cutting USAID, if you're willing to just completely ignore the tangible harm this person is doing, what is there that you will not ignore if it suits your political goals? At that point, how are you fucking different than Trump? All right. There's one other thing I wanted to go over. Goosebumps, we should game tonight. I have time for one more. What time is it? Yeah, I have time for one more article probably, and then I got a jet. I have a date with a partner. Ooh, a date. I have dates every week. Thank you, Reduxist. I definitely will. I'm sorry, I am just taking care of. I'm not heavy breathing. Who's heavy breathing? You're heavy breathing. Shut up. Fight and Hobbit, thank you for 20 biddies. To paraphrase a certain man in a corn costume, I respect we can handle this two ways. The chill way and the not chill way. And we are rapidly approaching the not chill way. Ain't that the fucking truth? That is some wisdom from the Cobb father himself. Vibing Violet, thank you for following. Aww. Gitarak, I got a date tonight too. Made him some donuts. That's so cute. Skip your date and live react to the Garbage Pail Kids movie and said, I've seen the garbage. I'm good. I've seen it. I went through, look, I like many other people, I have been into the hell of, hey, what's the worst movie ever and should I watch it? Which inevitably results in the experience, to put it lightly, that is the Garbage Pail Kids movie. What a thing. I am Lem going on a date with my GF tomorrow. Congratulations. RE9 about to be based on a true story. I have not seen the trailer yet, but I'm good on it. I've talked about it before where I don't get a lot of Oh no, Fight and Hobbit. I did not say it was the worst film ever. I said I have seen it when I was in that time period of like questing for the worst film ever. What is the worst film I've ever seen? I don't know, man. I've seen some shit. I went on a Tubi rabbit hole a couple years back. I've seen some fucking shit. And yeah, Garbage Pail Kids movie. Garbage Pail Kids movies is terrible. It doesn't come close to like the worst. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fucking bad, but it ain't that bad. Zolta going on vacation tomorrow. Not sure if I can enjoy it with the state of the world. Enjoy it. You live in the moment. Have a wonderful evening. Hi, Shell79. Megalopolis for worst movie ever? No. Again, doesn't come... Like, if you're talking about the worst film I've ever seen... Look, there are movies that I hate that are, like, technically fine. There are movies that I hate that are, like, bad, right? There are movies that are... I dislike that are bad that are still entertaining to watch because they're just so fucking befuddling. Like Batman vs Superman is a movie when it came out I was inexplicably enamored with, not in a like, oh, this is so good, but in a just like, what, how, what, who, huh, like I was fascinated by it. I had it on Blu-ray for a while. Yeah, Batman v Superman is peak slop. Like it is perfect, like daytime FX fodder, right? Like you sit down at a there's a, yeah. Anyway, it's God, worst movie I've ever seen. It's probably a horror movie. Like it's probably some like rickety slasher movie that was, you know, filmed on a fucking camcorder and put on DVD in 2002. That was what, when I went on Tubi, there were a bunch of, because I used to watch horror movies when I was a kid a lot with my mom, and so I would look at pretty much every section in the video store, which is very old-fashioned saying. And I remember, like, there were a bunch of movies that were, like, I just remember the covers for some reason. One of them was Junior. And that I ended up seeing. Terrible film. One of them was, like... What am I even thinking? Bloody Murder, which actually wasn't terrible. Bloody Murder was fine. But shit like that. I'm sorry. Birds of Prey is the worst movie you've ever watched. Have you never seen a bad film? What? If Birds of Prey is the worst film you've ever watched, you've seen one movie. It has to also be the best movie you've ever watched. What? Somebody asking... Madam Web. Madam Web is a movie I still think about. I've talked about Madam Web when I first saw it. How fast look. Madam Web is not a good movie. Junior, the Arnold movie. No, Junior, the horror slasher movie. Madam Web is a movie that I think about I think about it probably once a month in context of, damn, that could have been cool. Because there's a very specific tone it hits in a couple scenes. Like there is a how do I even put this? Madam Web is a movie that you can see basically the lines where it was chopped, screwed, hacked, and cut into its final form. And there is an alternate universe where whoever was like whoever was making the movie got royally fucked over. Because there is a movie where Madam Web is Final Destination meets like Jason in Manhattan. Except Jason is a Spider-Man. Like that is the core concept of Madam Web. You have this character with premonitions of bad things that are about to happen. And then you have a Terminator, essentially. Like, what if Spider-Man was a slasher villain? Has all the same... Like, there is one scene... All right, we're going on a tangent, y'all. Because I'm going to... For those who haven't seen it, I'm going to turn you on to game about one scene in Madam Web where for a half second I was like... Maybe there's something here. Then the rest of the movie happened, and I was like, no, there's not. But it's also, it's still a fucking, like, it's a PG-13, like, wannabe goddamn... Release the horror cut? I would love to. Let me see if this is... Now, I want, again, if you saw this as a test, right? As a, like, oh, this is a leaked test footage of, like the Deadpool movie, where it's like, hey, well, what if there was a Spider-Man horror movie? Why is it so low? Look, the rest of the movie isn't good. It's not a good movie. I'm not going to say it is. But for a half second, I was like, maybe they're onto something here. Oh, I fucking hated Brave New World. The thing about Brave New World is Brave New World isn't just a bad movie. It's an aggressively evil one, I feel. All right, Reuters. Federal agents face off against demonstrators in L.A. That is a fucking shot right there. Holy shit. I don't think... Federal security agents Saturday confronted protesters in the Paramount area in southeast LA, where some demonstrators displayed Mexican flags. The second protest in LA on Saturday night attracted some 60 people. Ham Sandwich, by the way, thank you for subbing. Who chanted slogans including "Keep ICE out of LA." Hey, my baby. God damn it. Insurrectionists carrying foreign flags are attacking immigration enforcement officers, while one half of America's political leadership has decided that border enforcement is evil. What is that political? One half of America's political leadership. Again, we were talking earlier about pushing forward these ideas about not shift. I hate saying shifting the Overton window because I think it's overused, but establishing new precedent. The idea of saying that one half of America's political leadership have decided that border enforcement is evil, which, by the way, is not what the Democrats have been saying or doing. There's still plenty of fucking Capitol Hill Dems. However, that doesn't behoove Vance or the conservative political agenda to eventually depict. Remember what I said a couple months ago about how I wouldn't be surprised if we saw sitting representatives being fucking deported. The administration has not invoked the Insurrection Act, two U.S. officials told Reuters on condition of anonymity. One said the National Guard troops can deploy quickly. The military was working to source the 2,000 troops. 1807 law empowers the president to deploy the U.S., blah, blah, blah. Video footage of the Paramount protest showed dozens of green uniformed security personnel with gas masks at the Paramount protests. "44 people on alleged immigration violations." Trump has pledged to deport record numbers of people and lock down the U.S.-Mexico border, with the White House setting a goal to arrest at least 3,000 migrants per day. Good. Hey, at least the fucking mayor is on board. Does somebody have another? All right, let me see. See if we can find another. No, Newsom made his statement. He's got podcasts to do. Yeah, Gavin Newsom's got more important shit to do. Like, what are y'all talking about? Pete Hegseth also said if things don't come under control, he'll also send active duty Marines from Camp Pendleton. Was he saying that between his third or fourth round of the night? What am I talking about? 7th or 8th for that guy, right? I need to know if it was if he was slurring yet, because that kind of The inflection will tell you everything on whether that happens or not. Am I right? Up high. Come on now. That's not live. That's not live. Why the fuck is not giving me live? Have a good night, Johnny Viral. Thank you very much for running our chat ads. If the government deploys active troops, it's military oppression of Americans directly against free speech. Surely people will not recognize that. Like I would not put enough hope in any kind of conservatives to be like to reckon with that cognitive dissonance. Seeing their fellow, because again, you have to think about how all these things have been established, how these narratives have been threaded through the American subconscious, particularly to the conservative right, of people deserving violence done to them, of people who are like, this is the stuff that they've been fucking saying for months now. Trump, Miller, Bannon. I know those are the three I keep listing. It's the only three coming to my head right now, where they will define people as being un-American, unpatriotic. They hate America. They hate you. They are a threat to this country. They want murderers and rapists in our streets. And they'll continue to spread and sow these narratives. And the reason that they repeat them so often, whether it's intentional or not, for Trump, for example, I think it's not so much intentional as he plays the hits, right? I'm going to go get water real quick. Sorry, y'all. I am. Okay. Well, I was, you okay? Come here. I know it feels good, Pupper. Come here. It's cold. I know it feels good, though. Come here. Come here. Lady can't tell if the cold thing. Have I watched Andor yet? I watched the first season. I started watching Daredevil again. But yeah, I've been reading a lot instead of watching TV, and I haven't had a lot of free time lately. Yeah, this is my water. Ellie OSRS Disney is glorp shit. Andor wasn't. That first season of Andor is fucking great. And I forgot, God, I fucking forgot how good the second season of Daredevil is. Fuck, man. Oh yeah, like I'm not gonna fucking defend I'm not gonna defend Disney as a company. Ugh. Yeah, Monty the Ogre. Honestly, I'm getting to that point too. I don't hate the second season because I love all the Frank stuff, but the yeah, the way Elektra is done in is just like I just find myself not caring that much. Okay, here we go. We got an aerial view of what's going on. So yeah, I was talking to somebody earlier about going down to LA. And I haven't made a decision on that. Yeah, transitory if you have the live feed for Fire. Because if I went to LA to cover this, I would need somebody to stay with, which I could probably find. I know enough people who live there. But I don't know. Yeah, going down to LA. Do you have that transitory? Do you have the Fire footage that you're talking about? Because if you sent a link, I'm not seeing it in chat. This is worse than the Rodney King riots? I don't know about that yet. I don't, look, maybe the nighttime will be, because I feel like the first couple nights of a riot or civil unrest really determines the tenor and outcome of the rest of it. Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to see it, Austin. I just want No spoilers. I'll go in fresh when it's all, because it's out. It's all out now. All right, let's see. Eight 7845. Thank you for following. Yeah, it's no, it's almost 9 over here.
Tom, there's a bus. There's a bus over there. Trying to stop him. I know you're trying to get him. Bus is coming this way.
Will this wake up Republicans? No.
It doesn't say what it is, but it's like white It's just... taxpayers paid for all of that. Like, I love how they suddenly care, or they can pretend to care about what taxpayers are paying for when they think that, like, protesters have a fucking schwinn. Like, yeah, taxpayers pay for that. You don't give a fuck about what taxpayers are paying for otherwise, do you? No, Elizabeth, the military parade that's the 14th. It's 9 and it's still that light. Yeah, it's about that light here still. It's gonna start getting dark soon though. Yeah, Lady Domina, same day as Spokane Pride. I actually had somebody just message me, a journalist friend messaged me to ask if I was gonna be covering the Trump like military birthday parade on the 14th, and I was like, no, I have a speech at a Pride event. Yeah, 14th of this month. There's a lot of fucking people, dude. Good on them. They need to be. It fills my heart up with joy to see so many people from so many different walks of life gathering together to surround these jackboot brown shirt motherfuckers. Like, and ultimately, this is the kind of, well, not just this, whatever resistance comes next. But there is a... What speech? I'm giving a speech at the in the Lilac Bowl, which is a big like kind of amphitheater in downtown Spokane. It's dark and it's getting, yeah, it is getting kind of dark out there. Give you a quick tip for anybody who finds themselves over this summer in any protest like this. When you hear the tear gas be fired, don't stop to turn around. That's everybody's mistake. Everybody thinks, oh, the tear gas is just going to be like just there, right? Like we have this very... I don't know if it's like from movies or Call of Duty or whatever, but we have this very like localized idea of how gas or vapor-based grenades spread, because that's not the way it actually goes. It is not just like a tiny, like you can see it here. It's not just a tiny cloud, and it is probably reaching pretty damn close to where these people are. Carry milk, wear masks, and sea goggles. Yeah. Those masks aren't... No, those masks won't do anything for tear gas, but they will... I mean, they help for identification. That's a dude that has experience. I can fucking... Oh, yeah. Learn how to... learn when there's a kettle forming. Learn when you're being boxed in. This is why it's good to... Okay, so that's... Yeah, it's updating to different feeds throughout the night. Okay. Learn to notice... This is why it's important to have communication with other people in a protest line around a city. Because at that point you're able to say, hey, what's going on X Street and X Street? And they can say, oh, the police are mobilizing, or oh, they're pulling back, or they're pushing this. And that's how you were actually able to tell, okay, no, they're forming a line here, they're forming a line here, especially if you know, when you know the city and you know your environment, you're able to be like, okay, they're going to cut us off here, they're going to try and push us here. And that gives you a good way to get out, right? Lots of veteran protesters made from 2020, I bet. No, I was that dude who was just like, whoop, watering the eyes, shaking it off. That's a dude who's been in that shit before. Here we go. This looks like an actual live feed. Skibbity Mane
Actually, right now I'm in the middle of it. The police are moving back. The National Guard are moving forward. Keep what I said in mind about what was I just talking about? What I said in mind about, this looks like a, I can't see if that's police or National Guard. They have police shields. It could be fucking anything. No, this is the Fox 11. Yep, here they are. They are trying to push a line, and they're going to start firing. Because the way they do it, they have gas masks, and they have breathers, and the way they do it is they fire past the protest line. Yeah, no, the tactical flashlights is just to piss off and disorient people. And you'll notice there's barely any protesters on this street. They panned back earlier, and there were a bunch of people just sitting at a fucking intersection with signs. The dangerous thing about protests like these are not the fact that, okay, yeah, maybe some people set a car on fire or two. It's the fact that this military force, somebody asked about, okay, we're getting the difference between cops and actual military. It's like, no. Like, the police have been militarized. They've been militarizing since the Patriot Act bullshit for the last 20 years, plus 20 years. But, like, particularly the last 20 years, especially in, I was going to say countries, especially in cities like LA, especially in cities like New York. Yeah, I'll post this real quick. LA, New York, billions of dollars in funding. Billions of dollars in funding to buy military gear. And it's not just because I think people have the idea that, like, oh, when police get funding, they're buying bulletproof vests, they're buying, maybe SWAT gear, tactical gear. No. When they get billions of dollars in funding, we see it here, where they have unlimited supplies of tear gas grenades. They have unlimited supplies of top-of-the-line gas masks. They have every civilian suppression method short of just firing a fucking M60 across a crowd. Nathan, are those flashlights strobing? Are they trying to cause a seizure? No, it keeps you disoriented. You can't look at it directly. It's the thing that, like, if you look at the sun, it creates that, like, oh, somebody threw something, but oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Oh, that pissed him off. That pissed somebody off. Have a good night, Sluggerdaxis 189. Uh, 100% oxygen. Somebody threw a firework behind the line. And here you will see peaceful protesters. Which, by the way, I can tell there would be people who watch this and be like, oh, you just said that there's peaceful protesters, but then you just praised there's fireworks. Yeah, because a firework's not going to do anything to an entire line of police, LA cops in tack gear. Sorry, they're not. Might as well have fucking shot a spitwad at them from a straw. It is symbolic resistance, but very little more. And the idea that, like, oh, well, that's violence. Nah. That is not one of the reasons why. Let me say, one of the reasons why they want to cement these ideas of what violent antagonistic protest looks like is so that they can push stuff that is not actually that violent, that they can absolutely crush it before it gets out of hand. Lest these motherfuckers find out what violent protest should look like. And I don't say that as like, oh, well, they deserve this to happen or they deserve this. I mean that in a historical sense of what this kind of escalation will inevitably lead to. Because guess what? As everybody's socioeconomic disparity gets worse, as more and more people have less to lose, as more and more people get in danger of losing their housing, get pissed off at the government, get just so fucking fed up and pent up with all the bullshit we have to hear about and live under every day, that is what also leads to protests. It is not just one effect. It is not just the fact, and this is, by the way, you can see this when you see the flags being waved of Mexican national flags next to Palestinian flags. Protesters, the people standing up right here, I guarantee you, the 4 people standing right here, right now, facing down tear gas guns that, like, these cats know. These cats probably saw through the George Floyd protests. They probably saw people getting their fucking shit caved in, people getting faces and skulls broken by taking tear gas canisters at short range. And I guarantee you, the ICE raids may have been the catalyst for them to stand up like this. But these are not single issue voters, so to speak, right here. Insofar as public dissent is a way of voting, right? Do you think there will be something akin to the French Revolution? I would hope not. I would hope not. I genuinely would hope not. I think it is. I think it is a naive but beautiful dream, the way a lot of people like to romanticize ideas about what revolution is, what it looks like. But it is ugly in a way that America has probably a true revolution in this socioeconomic climate, with the position of the state the way it is. A true revolution in America people would behold suffering America has not seen since the Civil War. And in fact, taking everything into account, it would be unspeakably dark in a way that the civilian population of America has never known. Like, straight up, has never known. I am Lem, bloodless revolution is not possible. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that, like, I think there is a thirst for change that often manifests as a thirst for blood, right? But in ways that people aren't really, like, a lot of anarchities and stuff don't really get what shit would entail, you know. I think there is a leftist side that is the other side of a coin from Boogaloo Boys, from the accelerationists who are out there fucking shooting targets in the woods and fucking reading about the protocols or whatever, and talking about how, when we're in power, we're gonna kill them.
Skibbity Main, do you have a stream up or anything? Yeah, creamy hamster. Food shortages, no potable water, no power for weeks on end. Your house just not existing at random. That's what a true revolution is. Yeah. And being a public figure of any kind puts an immediate target on your head. Because here's I'm not talking about like just philosophical accelerationists. I'm talking about the kind of accelerationists, the kind of chuds who would call themselves accelerationists, who I studied in the Return Doc, the white nationalist video. I mean, the U.S. isn't a democracy right now, but yeah. Oh, we're watching the L.A. riots right now, Darcy's Pokemon. Yeah, Anarkitties, the people that actually do the dirt while you sit in your armchair. Okay, JC, that's cute. Do you think I only sit in my armchair? Did you miss the part where I was talking about going down to LA? Do you not know everything else I've done? Yeah, sorry. Just getting into fights in the streets? That's not exactly a praxis I think is particularly useful. Oh, Skibbity Man, thank you for following. Yeah, do we have any other... I do have to get going soon, but do we have any other... No, I don't think this has been... the armchair comment is such an Anarkitty comment, true. Oh. 'I mean, here's the problem is that they're going to take literally any chance they can to declare it a riot. Except it seems too widespread. It doesn't seem local, which, I mean, that'll happen in a big-ass urban environment, but it seems too widespread. Favorite West Coast rapper? I am so sorry, baby. You are so hot. I know. You are so warm. Oh, wait, hang on. Did somebody just raid? Dahurumba, thank you for raiding. Does that armchair have rockets? Oh shit, here we go. That was a hell of an angle. Well, Iberwoman, Stephen Miller saying something is an insurrection. We talked about this at the beginning. It's, oh, fuck. Skibbity Main HD. Dude, I gotta move. A guy just popped out of the Humvee and now he's shooting rubber bullets. '86 and one wearing the American flag. Armchair.
What's the Andromeda? Drop the link to it. I don't have a. I don't know which one's the Compton stream. There's a bunch of streams on here. Thank you very much, Awesome Stella. That's tear gas. This looks like earlier. Of course, kitty fruit. I've been meaning to do it. I just always forget. Oh, perfect. You know what?
Deployed.
Okay, hang on.
Gas and pepper balls and smoke and
Yeah, Real Indigenous United. We've been talking about it. Kit Control, thank you for following.
flashbangs. That group all moved back to here.
All right, chat. I do have to get going. I have somebody waiting for me. Plans that I cannot change. But
Originally, as
thank you all for. We're gonna go over to
still up here,
Riverboat Jack stream. I think Jack will be.
Oh, look at this! Look at this!
marching south on Alameda right now.
You're at the Federal Detention
Why
Center.
can I not?
Line down south. So this is where everything originated. Right here, this building right here.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I pinned it. It's not letting the stupid. Oh my god. There we go. All right, we're gonna go raid Riverboat Jack. Jack will probably keep talking about stuff like this. So please go over, support, follow, say hi. Stay tuned to all this stuff. I will be covering it more likely tomorrow. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And everybody who's down there, please stay safe as much as you can. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. I would say, don't do anything I wouldn't do, but I'm not known for playing it safe. So don't do anything I would also do. Have a good night.
Yeah, that's